Welcome to the Spacious Unknowing Network, Sunshine for Your Soul, with Julio
and JoJo Rose.
We invite you to enter into ecological equanimity in the unified field of spacious unknowing.
We open and awaken to broaden your access to the soul rhythm in all of us.
We engage in the pilgrimage inward to feel the infinite love that beats in the rhythm of our collective soul. We will guide you to new horizons and infinite love during our Inquire Within segment.
To accept that, you create your field.
I create my field.
And together, we create the unified field. Spacious Unknowing Network
with Julio
and JoJo Rose starts now. Aloha. We are at the table.
Calling you in.
Calling you in. Calling you in. We are giving away a 30-minute one-on-one session to the first three people who call 1-800-930-2819 and give our producer Lydia your name, phone number, and email address. Call now to be one of the first three people to receive this gift. Again, that's 1-800-930-2819.
It's a 30-minute session. You'll be glad you did, so call.
Join
our community.
Come, unity.
Together, we make light of the darkness. Together, we make the darkness conscious of being conscious. For out of the dark and deep arises the acceptance of starry matter. And without any doubt or any fear, new human beings and new worlds are fashioned.
So, Julie O. Rose, what is conscious of being conscious?
There's a way to be conscious that we all know. It's just automatic for us to move our hands and arms and be present with possibly seeing nature and all that's around us. But then there's subtleties in the subconscious. And to become consciously aware would be like our soul rhythm coming online. Mm-hmm. So Spacious Unknowing Network is a benefit for allowing the spacious unknowing to come, the soul rhythm to come online. And the soul rhythm gives us ever so much of who we are, what is important, and it's so creative. There's so much creation that can happen when we're connected up in ways that are good for everyone, good for us, good for everyone. And to do it together is beyond wonderful. It just has so much of value in it. And well, from coming into Spacious Unknowing Network and learning to meditate and be present with you.
Yes.
So that you could really, in a better way, listen into your soul rhythm. Mm-hmm. And that has been, I've watched you undergo the changes that come with that.
Yes.
And, maybe with truly changes were occurring, but when you really gave yourself to meditation, it made a huge difference for you to be able to come into the Spacious Unknowing network and truly feel your soul rhythm and come closer and closer to the stillness that is within you. So would you like to tell us of that?
I would,
Because I feel
yes.
that, you know, we're together for a great purpose.
Yeah, we are.
And we would like to have so many other people together with us. But it would be nice for all of you to know how all this happens. And JoJo and I are perfect together for that to show you, because I've been in this all my life since birth, and it's all been integral to me. So there were no techniques. I didn't learn it. I lived it. And through my life, I learned what was easy for me. Even when things were difficult around me, I was able to navigate because I had the interior awareness of the way to navigate. And that is so wonderful. And that's what can happen for anyone. And I've learned that there are ways for that to happen. And because I didn't have a technique for myself, I certainly didn't have any for anyone else. And I learned that a lot of people in the world need and want techniques, which I only knew how to live it and be conscious of the way I was living. But to be able to just be present with other people, which I've done a lot of, was not as clear to me as it is now. And it came clear through being with JoJo every day and learning what she didn't know and being able to learn through her what a lot of people need to know, understand, because without understanding, we are in trouble with ourselves. So, you know, consciousness uplifts us and really gifts us with the ability to alleviate suffering, whether it's a suffering interiorly or suffering in other people. There's always the chance of being present with others when that is available to you in your own insides. So to be in Spacious Unknowing network, which is in our inner being, is so helpful to the fullness of living our lives. And yeah, and it's very personal in that we have to join ourselves to it. I remember having, like, being a channel for something that happened with my children, and I didn't know what I had said to them. They were fine, they were at peace, and they left to play. They had come in very upset. So I sat down with me because honestly, I didn't want to be just a channel. I wanted to be the message and the messenger. I wanted to be able to speak to them from my heart, from my inner being, and not just have it flow through me and I didn't know what really had happened. Or I didn't want to sit and analyze what I had just done either. For me, it was, I had to assimilate and integrate it so it would become integral to my life. And that's been with me since then. So I know that that is an important understanding of being personal with whatever it is we receive, because it has a message in it from our soul rhythm for us. And it is so different from anything you ever would have known. And then when there's an action from it, it's wow, so different from anything you ever dreamed would or could happen. And it actually is quite quantum, because quantum's been here forever. If people are just learning about it, or scientists are just beginning to understand it, doesn't mean it hasn't been here. You know, the truth is, there is nothing new under the sun. So it's been here. We just are finding out about it. And that's pretty cool. But nobody can claim it. So,
And to me, you just said a mouthful, because conscious of being conscious is that recognizing quantum, recognizing what we see in our world in nature is we have inside of us. Coming here and being with you, I knew it was my soul rhythm calling me to come home and to quantum entangle with JoJo Rose. I knew it was my soul. I could not be in it. That being said, I really didn't know what I was being called into.
mhm.
It took me coming here to begin to understand, and it took a while. I would say for the first 2 years, it was really letting down and letting go of a lot of my old belief systems, the things that I had held dear, mainly for anyone out there, mainly it was all wrapped up in fear, guilt, and control, and looking to other people to take care of me, to make my decisions for me. In the midst of all of this, in living with my mother again as an adult, I would see her life and see the wonder of it and ask her, what is it? What? Because her life looked easy. It looked like everything just flowed. And as I begin to be in this, I begin to get a little bit of a glimpse and understanding of the inner workings of what she did inside of herself was what made her life look like it flowed. So
But it did flow.
it did flow. Yes, it did.
It didn't look
Yeah,
like it.
no, it didn't look like it, but for someone looking on, it was okay. Yes, thank you for that clarity. Yes. So I would say probably 6 months ago, I've been here almost 3 years now. 6 months ago, I had meditated, but I didn't really allow myself to get still inside. I had what I would call the thinking mind running 100 miles an hour. Can any of you relate to that? Well, but I made a decision, and it was a really deep decision in my soul that I needed to meditate every day. And I had to be willing to be still. And if a thought came up that was running me, I let it go. I brought it into that still place inside of me. But beyond that, I began to speak, talk to, be in communication with my chakras. And we have the chakras up here in our crown, we have our heart chakra, and we have our lower chakras. Well, in the life that I live, the lower chakras, when they're not clear, can wreak havoc because they're full of the fear, guilt, and control. But I began to talk lovingly to them, letting them know how much I love them, how much I appreciated the patience in my base chakra, the creativity in my second chakra, the soft, gentle power in my third chakra. And what I beheld was, in doing that, the way that I had spoken to myself from my thinking mind, from all the hurt feelings, those began to dissipate, and the light was coming in, and the love, my heart was opening, and the love was present for me, so that the things that I hadn't wanted to face, that had really wreaked havoc on my life, that I created, I began to face and see and feel. That's the most important. We can see, but if we don't feel it, if we don't truly recognize what it's doing to us in our life, let alone those that are around us, then it doesn't have the same I don't want to use the word impact. It doesn't have the same flow. It doesn't have the same ability to truly touch us and touch those around us. So I've learned a lot through meditation and learning to be in the stillness and be gentle and kind with me, which allows me and opens me to be gentle and kind with everyone that shows up in my life. And there's people that show up where I see the patterns that I used to live from, and I love them. And there may be times where I'm giving to say something to them or I'm silent, but no matter what, my intention, my heart is for them to feel loved. And that's truly the gift, because in being in meditation and being in this life and taking a deep breath when I need to and recognizing, oh, what am I thinking right now? Okay, I can change that. I can change anything inside of me that truly has felt unchangeable. And I truthfully, there have been many, many, many things in my life that have felt unchangeable and held me down and away from my soul rhythm, held me down and away from what I have in here that we all have. We just have to be willing to open to it and see it and feel it and change what needs changing. It truly can all change. We are the change agent. We are the creator. We have to make a decision for what it is we want to create. And I chose to create from Spacious Unknowing Network.
So this, as you have your hands here and have spoken, it's to me our treasure chest. Because within it is all of our ability to breathe. And breath is our first thing that happens after birth. And it's the last thing that happens when people pass. So breath is our life. And spirit comes from the word spirare, which is breath. The meaning is breath. So our breath is our spirit. And it's always a question, what spirit are we serving?
Oh,
Yeah. And so we can know. Spacious Unknowing allows for that soul rhythm to give us so much more than we would have if we left the soul anchored by the ego, pushed away from us by the ego. And the ego isn't wrong and bad. It just, if people let it own them, they let it own them. And that is it. And they can come to the day when they realize that they don't like that ownership. They would much prefer to have a different life from that. And that's when the soul could rise. But like you, whenever I was given anything that was from the soul rhythm, it was so different in manifestation than I could have imagined. So it took me a few minutes to get what this happening right now is and realize that, oh, that's what I received. Okay, I get it. Or where I was to go or what I was to do, like the morning that I was called upon to go love a man that owned a store with his wife and was the grumpiest person I'd ever seen in my life. And I sat in meditation going, really? That's what I have to do?
Are you sure?
I am sure. And so I thought, well, I don't buy anything in that store. What could I do? Oh, he has a gas pump. I'll go get gas for my truck. So I went, and he came out and gave me the biggest, brightest smile. And I knew I got it. I really got it, that is what happens to people. And from then on, that's what I did, was loved people so they would have that big, bright smile. And it was pretty wonderful to see that.
Yeah.
And one day I sat on the bus next to a man who was so just his face was dense and heavy, like he had such a difficult life. And I sat next to him and I said, you know, I need to know that this man has the spark of God inside of him. Let him show me. He turned around and gave me the brightest smile. So it's always fun to
Yeah.
find out how this all works.
Yes, it
And so I've
is.
had a lot of fun finding out how this all works. I was sitting on a bench in Waikiki one day and just sitting there, and the tourists were flying by, very busy, 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 hurrying and scurrying, which nobody who lives here does. To tell the difference.
Yes, you can tell the difference.
And I was just sitting there going, is the aloha spirit still here? Is it really still here? I feel it, but do other people feel it? Is it here? And right away, whew, I got a real download. Yes, aloha spirit is still alive and well. And so there was a beautiful woman sitting beside me, just such a lovely countenance. And I said to her, I was just asking if the aloha spirit was still alive here. She
Yeah.
said, oh, I'm so glad you're telling me that. Is it? And I said, well, it is. It's so beautiful and it's so wonderful. She said, I was asking that.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is all quantum.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
really how we are
It's
all connected.
yeah, connected, and we're together. We do quantum breathe together. We often answer something somebody else is asking. And that is, if we're really in this, we learn so much.
Yeah.
Not only about them with us, but about ourselves with them. I mean, it's one way, it's a way of being, but nevertheless, it's beautiful. And I can't imagine having any other kind of life.
You know, you're making me remember when I got here and I was driving for Lyft. And when I left, about a year before I left Seattle to come home, I started really appreciating the nature, the trees, the evergreens there. Well, one day I remember driving for Lyft, and we call a mountain range here, they're called the Ko'olaus. And they are not like any mountain I have ever seen anywhere else in the world. You can literally, when you're close to them, even from a distance, you see all the ridges in them. So I was driving on the road and I looked up at the mountain and I took in this deep breath. I felt like the mountain was talking to me and breathing with me. It was palpable. Like I could visually see the fields of the breath around the mountain. And I was just graciously drinking it in and saying thank you with great gratitude, because that truly is the Hawaiian people. That's what they believe. That the land is sacred to them.
It is.
It's very sacred to them. And I felt it. And it was, I just felt such gratitude for being here and feeling this way. The quantum of it.
Yeah, and I was thankful when you shared it with me, because when you lived here before, you didn't see any of it. And
no,
you know, it's just such a marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's makes me speechless.
It does make me speechless. We're just about ready to go to break. But before we do that, if you're just joining us, we want to let you know that we're giving away a 30-minute one-on-one session to the first 3 people that call in. The number to call is 1-800-930-2819. Our producer, Lydia, will take your name, email address, and phone number. Again, the number is 1-800-930-2819. Call now to receive this gift. And stay with us, because you don't want to miss what we will be communicating on. after the break
table.
and at the table. Aloha and welcome back from break. I'm JoJo Rose here with Julie O. Rose. So Julie, at the beginning of the show, you spoke of making light of the darkness with conscious love.
Mhm. And making light is really lightening up. Making light of the darkness is truly a lightening up of what has been heavy or difficult. And only conscious love can really make that very tangible and real to us. Actually, it's palpable. And then to make the darkness conscious of being conscious, just like the sunshine at noontime, people see their shadow on the sidewalk or on the ground. We need the light and we need the love in here to see the darkness. And the darkness could have within it something that we really need in our life, but have been afraid of the darkness because of the way people speak about the darkness. And we've heard it for a lifetime in most cases. And without fear, we can tap into things inside, even in the world, that seem taboo or something we don't want to do or see. But it really is important for us to understand how important it is to face anything that is in the shadows, in darkness. And people often live in a shadow life and they think that's who they are. And it isn't. It truly isn't. I'm here to say, not true. And only with having the courage and the will. And of course, when there's fear, it can be turned into courage. Where there is control, it can be turned into flow. So JoJo said last week, well, my won't didn't want to be the will. And that is often true. So that won't is a contraction, and a contraction really ties people in knots in their lower body and affects the way they see life and the way they feel it. Mainly they have hurt feelings connected with it. And that, to me, is the only addiction on the planet, is hurt feelings, because from hurt feelings, all the addictions that are here that people go toward come from hurt feelings. And to learn the way to take those hurt feelings and bring them inside and allow the light and love to show the person a brand new way to be present with this and not to be afraid and be absent from it, because it's a gift. Whatever we need to change is a grand gift to us that we don't know until we know. We don't know what could be unwrapped from something that has been fearful and dark to someone until we allow ourselves to do that. And so it's a very worthwhile, people can go from unworthy to allowing things to be worthwhile to them, to come home here. And we do take ourselves wherever we go, and they're it, this is it, this is what we have. And this is all we have. You know, we can have homes and cars and trucks and all kinds of things, but this is really all we have. So what the eyes see, what the heart feels, what the body doesn't know is important for the change that's possible, the creation, the creating of something, mainly a new sound.
Yeah.
Because when people listen to the sounds in their head and they live in their head instead of their life, it's harsh. It isn't sounds of joy or thanksgiving, or peace, or anything that would, if you stopped and thought about it, you'd want to nurture in you, because it isn't nurturing. And what I love about the soul rhythm is it's gentle, and the sound is never hurtful or mean-spirited, or it'll never tell you you're unworthy, ever, ever, ever. And you know, so many have heard they're sinners. And I say, take the S off the beginning of that word and go inner to find out who you really are, who you really are. Underneath all that lather is a real human being waiting to get unleashed, unbound, to be online and happy. And yeah, it's
so worth it. It is
you're
so
so worth
worth
it.
it to come home and
That's it.
understand. I mean, it's so worth it. I'm listening to you and just, you know, how different I feel now.
Mhm.
You know,
How different you look now.
I would say that I lived a life of really letting anyone and everything in to me. I was like an empty vessel because I didn't know who I was. And I had a lot of hurt feelings. And I even went so far as to believe that I had a lot of pain. Well, the truth of the matter is, the way that I lived, the pain was an illusion because it was all things that I told myself and kept telling myself. And because I kept telling myself and living from that, guess what I met up with in my world around me? I met up with those thoughts and those feelings through people and happenings in my life. By coming home to my heart, coming home and recognizing the things inside, simple things like, well, I can't do this. Well, okay. Yes, I can, and I will. Simple turn of the phrase, turn of the word in the way that I say it has helped me to truly come home. And I'm not saying that my life, like everything is, I still work. Every day is a working. Every day is a willingness to, what is spacious unknowing going to show me today that I don't know that I need to know and understand? It's in continuum. It is ongoing, as is life.
Well, I like it that you didn't say perfect.
I gave that up. I gave up being perfect.
And that's really something that we need to say, because so many people use the phrase still
Yeah.
about perfect, and it really is a big shadow on their life, because nobody can be perfect. That is not what we're here for. We're here to create and love and care. And
I hid the perfect behind just focusing on my physical body, my physical form, not knowing all the other things that made up me and who I am. My energetics, being able to feel the quantum, my heart, my psychology, my mind, my all of the systems that we have in our physical form that work well when we allow them to work well. Breath, our chakras, everything has to be working together, communicating, come unity in my form,
Yeah.
in my being. We are human beings. We are not just a physical form walking around on the planet. We are not just a mind or a head walking around on the planet. It's all of us. It's who we are.
Well, it's a
That
beautiful
it's
art form.
it
It really is
is.
the
Oh,
most beautiful art form on the planet
yes,
to
it
me is the
is.
human
Yeah.
form. And all that you just said. And I remember when your son one day, I said to him, "What are you studying in school today?" He said, "Bodyology." I knew he meant biology. I love that word. I have incorporated it into my life,
Yes.
bodyology, because so many people live by that. And
Yes.
I get it,
Yeah.
I understand it, but I also know how important it is to understand all the other
Mhm.
aspects of ourselves and be present with them because they are, well, value them, really.
Mhm.
They're gems. They are gems. And to appreciate and accept is probably one of the appreciate, accept, and allow. Those three words are so important in these changes
Mhm.
because in the world, people will push and pull and control
Mhm.
many people, not all. And in this life, we give permission.
Yeah.
And if we don't give permission for something to happen from within us, it won't happen. It just won't. And I always feel that if I were to go start talking to somebody out of turn, that would be like raping them because they have nothing inside asking for that. And that is something we each need to know and
Yeah.
understand because it is a form of violation.
Yeah.
And comes from the word violence, and it is in its own way.
Yeah, it
And
is.
that is, it sounds like, oh, how could that be? Well, it is.
Yeah, and just to maybe clarify that a little bit, I've had experiences with people, and I've done it myself to people where you can say something and you may think the word that you're speaking is okay, but sometimes people feel the energy behind it and
Mhm,
it feels like you're being cut into.
mhm,
I know I've done that and I know that I've experienced it. The other side of that, in the context of what you were just saying, that I have learned in being with you that I have to have an inquiry
mhm,
and have a directive. But there have been times where I've had that inquiry where you have brought something to my attention that I'm unaware of,
mhm.
but you do it in such a way where there is consciousness and there is
Oh,
love and there
yes.
is from the spacious unknowing. So even
But
if,
you have asked for it,
yes,
even when you resisted it.
I was just going to say there's times that I've resisted it. And then it's like, but wait
I
a
was
minute.
asking for that.
I was asking for that. Not only that, but when even and the resistance isn't so much anymore, but when I did resist, after I was with it for a little bit, I thought, gosh, I am so loved. I am so loved.
Yes.
I'm the one resisting. So let me be with that. Let me sit with that for a minute. And, but I was wanting to make the point of, because you spoke of the violence can be as simple as the way we speak to somebody,
Mhm.
the way we look at them. And we have the capacity, we have as human beings, we can make that decision in the moment. Because in reality, all we have is right here, right now.
Mhm.
We don't have, we don't have tomorrow. We don't have 8 o'clock tonight. It's not here yet. We have right now what's in front of us and what is in front of us. what are we seeing and feeling in our life right now in this moment? Okay.
And that now that you're speaking of, most people think the past is somewhere else. But actually, the past lives inside of every person, the past and the future. But to most people, it's somewhere else.
Right.
So when we want to understand something from the past, it's right here. And it will help us understand
Yep.
whatever it
Yes,
is
it
we
will.
need to understand.
Yes.
If there are hurt feelings, we can learn the way to let them go. And it changes everything when we understand that everything is now. It's not a made up story. It's really true that our past is not somewhere else. It's right here, right now, living. And whatever somebody has decided, oh, maybe years ago, if they haven't changed that decision, it's still online and it's still affecting their life in much the same way.
Yeah.
And they want to believe it's over there, but it is in their form, in their energetic body, in their field. And our field emerges from within us. It truly is our field. It comes from within me. If it's my field, it comes from within you.
Within me, and it's my field.
And so when we're able to join each other, be together, our field, we each have a field that we bring to this togetherness, to this community. And each field has its own importance. We are not here to be the same. We are not here to conform. We're here to bring out whatever is the purpose for which we came here. And we're each different. We each have a different way to express ourselves. And that's the wonder of our lives. The wonder. It's a wonder. It is a wonder. So, yeah.
Yes, it is a wonder.
And we can go back. I mean, if somebody has made a decision, and usually they're made every 3 years, big decisions. At age 3, it starts, or at birth, but 3 is an easier one to go back to at first. And then it can be, because everything can be changed. Everything, every part of us that needs changing can be changed. We just have to understand the way to be in that and be with that. And that is so real. I made a decision when I was 3, and I realized that every year, 3 years after that, and I came into the understanding of, for me, because I came in for this purpose, it was a rite of passage inside that decision. And then the ritual was me learning it on earth so I could practice it on earth, because I'm here. This is where I am on earth. And I can bring in the heavens. I can bring in my starry matter and live with it inside of me here on earth. And this is the mediator. Our heart is the mediator between this beautiful crown and our feet and everything in between. And it is a very, just a wonder. A wonder.
It is a wonder. Yes, it is a wonder. It's a life so worth giving yourself. It's a life worth living. It's very real and tangible when it is recognized, but we have to recognize it here first. And with what Julie said, with our decisions, they can be changed. They are in the past if we leave them there. But if we're lamenting that decision at 3, it's still in here. So my decision at 3, when I had the courage to change my decisions, because initially I was like, I'm not too sure about this. My decision at 3 was to not pick myself up. And it was mainly my physical body. And when I went back, I realized,
Where
I
did you go back to?
oh, true. Okay. Thank you. When I saw my 3-year-old, I recognized that I actually had picked myself up, my physical form, yes, but I was loved and I can do this. Took me 3 times to truly recognize that me picking myself up was not about that moment in time. That was a decision for the rest of my life.
Mhm.
Prior to changing the decision, me not picking myself up is what made me lean into everyone else. Once I made the decision and knew that, yes, I had picked myself up and I was going to be picking myself up from here on in, was not just my physical form. It was every part of me. It was tapping into allowing my soul rhythm to speak, allowing my spirit to breathe, being real with picking myself up. If I have something in my life that is showing me something that I need to learn, okay, let me see it. I want to see it. I want to feel it, and I want to change it right here, right now. So it's in continuum. Me picking myself up is every single day, and I love it. I love picking myself up. It's fun. It's joyful. It's with great gratitude that today I pick myself up. And I don't know what else to say, because
It works.
it works.
That's it.
It does work.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's good to know some of the decisions that have been made to unravel them, because they need to be seen into
Yeah,
and
they do.
realize how much it affects you today.
Yeah.
And be able to recognize that, this too can be changed and I can change it. And that's majorly what each of us as individual souls need to understand. It's easier to be with many other people when we have ourselves than it is to be with many other people and not be affected by them in a way that makes you sad or unhappy, or wish you didn't have to do it, or whatever it would be, and stay in isolation.
Yeah.
So to learn to be present with yourself right where you are is such a gift to you. And that's the truth of the matter. And it matters, and you matter.
Yes, you do matter. Yes.
So give them the promo again, please.
Okay, I will do that. So what we are doing is we are giving away 3 one-on-one sessions to the first 3 people that call in and give their name, their phone number, and their email address to our wonderful producer, Lydia, by calling 1-800-930-2819. So call right now. We're almost to the end of the show. Call now, 1-800-930-2819 to receive this gift of a 30 one-on-one session.
30-minute.
30-minute. Did I say 30 seconds?
No.
No. Okay, good. I thought it. I didn't think I did, but you
No.
know, you never know. It's the end of the show. It's time to
Oh,
let people
you're kidding.
know.
Whoa, okay.
That
Well,
flew by in a minute.
it sure did, and we loved it. I hope
Yeah.
you loved it too, because we love
Yes,
you.
we
We
do
love
love
you
you.
as a listener, and we invite you to come to our website, spaciousunknowingnetwork.com, and sign in for the meditations. I think you'll love them because they're simple and easy and fun. And
Join our community.
oh, yes, please.
Yes, come. Unity. We will see you next week. Monday, same time, 7 p.m. Pacific time. We love you, all of you.
Yes, we do.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Thank you for listening to Spacious Unknowing Network, Sunshine for Your Soul,
with Julie O.
and JoJo Rose.
Join us again for life-affirming communication every Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific time on transformationtalkradio.com so that you can bask in the rays of infinite love.
Access soul rhythm to tap into your real being for your heartbeat in the rhythm of your soul.
Feel it guide you to new horizons and unlimited infinite love. For more information about Julie O.
and JoJo Rose,
visit spaciousunknowingnetwork.com. That's spaciousunknowingnetwork.com.